What's going on, guys? This is Mars Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're back at it in the forest, and this will be part 1 of a 3-part series that I like to title Kill or Be Killed. Now, I don't really do a lot of forest videos, but when I do put them together, I really enjoy them. Right, I think as a matter of fact I'll do a lot more forest videos. Now, the last time I was in the forest, I was doing the last 2 parts of my high-speed troller series. Alright, so I got a good parry right there. And that's the videos where I was trolling in the forest with good old Short Dude. Right, so I got a lot of people saying that you can't, you're not all that hot, all you can do is gank, you're nothing, you're this and you're that, right? So of course I had to read the comments and I had to chuckle to myself. So I said, you know what, let me give my dissenters what they want. Right, so if you guys think the brigade cannot handle himself in the forest, I'll go ahead and upload, right, not only 1 video, not 2 videos, but 3 videos, right, with me in the forest. Now, this is what the 3-part series is going to look like. This is going to be the first part, featuring my Crystal Lioness build, Crystal Magic Lioness build, for which there's another video on this particular build. I think I'm in the Berg using it. And the other 2 parts will feature my Thief build. Right? It's a Hornet Thief build. It's a build that has the option to use the Hornet Ring or the Leo Ring or the Fog Ring. Right? Not an optimized build. Right? Just a regular build. Nothing fancy. Just quick mobility with my Thief. Right? So, in the event that some of you haters want to say, oh, well, I mean, anybody can be a forest hunter, because you'll have your buddy and it's still a form of ganking. Guess what? I already thought that you guys would say that. So part 1, this part, will feature me as a forest hunter. Parts 2 and 3 will feature me as a dark wraith. Right? So hopefully you guys will definitely enjoy it. Sometimes reading comments is just funny to me because I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what? It's obvious to me that a lot of you guys are new to the channel, right? Because if you were not new, then you probably wouldn't make a lot of the comments that you make. But it is what it is, right? Because in all fairness, I've been guilty of being a little too judgmental without giving people a chance in the past. I remember, matter of fact, shout out to good old Hell Servant 23. He had this video. I think he had this build. It's like the combustion god, right? And all he did was run around and hit people with the combustion. And granted, this was before I knew Hells. I don't know if he was really new. I think he was kind of new. But I watched the video and I just basically left him a hater comment. Like, dude, anybody can just run up to someone and spam with the grand combustion. You're not even really doing anything. And the funny thing about it is he basically left me a comment like, okay, it is what it is, dude, but I mean, why are you hating on me? Right? You've only seen 1 video of mine and you're hating. So I kind of thought about it. I said, you know what? Point taken. Right? Because see, one thing about me, even in the times that I am, being critical of things that I see or critical of the things that I hear, I'm objective enough to at least listen to the person that I'm attacking and try to be objective with what their reply is. So I listened to what he said. I said, you know what? Maybe the dude is right. So let me go ahead and watch some more of his videos. So the next video that I watched was him invading good old Triple. Shout out to Triple. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys may know him. And in that video, he was doing the same old thing. So within the first few minutes, I'm like, okay, so I guess this is just his thing. He kind of got his catchy name, Hell Servant, and he's a combustion god, right? So, okay, that's his deal. But then he ran out of combustion, right? And I noticed that not only was he good with the spamming combustions, he was also good with the parries and other attacks, because I think once he ran out with the combustions, he only used a dagger. And he was tightening up phantoms that Triple would summon over and over and over again. And it was quite impressive. So one thing that I learned, and it kind of taught me, well, I can't really say it taught me, I'll just say it just kind of made me look myself in the mirror again. I had to realize to myself, you know what, sometimes you shouldn't be so quick to judge, right? Because it's easy to watch one or two videos and then you just kind of come up with a conclusion based upon the one thing that you see. But in some cases, in order for you to have an accurate judgment or to offer a fair conclusion, what you need to do is give people the benefit of the doubt. And this is not only with regard to upload to YouTube or anything like that. This is basically life. Because I know a lot of times, you may have a first impression about something or somebody, and it may be one that is not necessarily a reflection of the total picture of what that thing is. Right? So from that point onward, I kind of watched a few of his other videos. Not only that, I kind of ran into him in Twitch, and I realized that I was definitely being way too judgmental on that first observation that I had with his gameplay. Right? And I realized that a lot of guys will say that, right? Because I know I had this spear video with me playing as a Silver Knight, and this guy, he kind of made this comment like, oh, look at the noob spear user. And I'm thinking to myself, like, noob spear user. Okay, obviously this guy doesn't know who I am, because if he did know who I was, then he would probably know that I use a wide variety of weapons and I feature them on my channel. Not only do I use a wide variety of weapons, but I also encourage build creativity, right, and uniqueness. But only a person who didn't know that about my channel would say that. Right? Only a person who clicked for the first time on the video, maybe watch the first 5 or 10 minutes, and that's it. Maybe you may draw that conclusion. I say all this to say that whether it's YouTube, whether it's a person that you meet, whether it's something in life. Now, granted, first impressions are definitely important. But you can't always go only on the first impressions. Now, you have the same impression after a second encounter, then hey, you can draw a fair conclusion. But sometimes let's not be too quick to judge, because I definitely have been guilty of it myself. Alright, now, so let's talk about this build. This is my Crystal Magic Lioness build, right? And it's basically a 40-40 build. 40 dex and 40 intelligence, and this is basically my first build that is dedicated to buffs, right? Because I never made a build that was dedicated to buffs. Now, I did have a faith build that had the ability to buff, but it wasn't dedicated to buffs. And out of all the builds that I have, I have 2 hybrid builds, I have a lot of melee builds, I have dex, strength, I've got Leo ring builds, I got them all. But I decided to create my first crystal magic weapon build. So this is what it is. Now I know some of you guys may say, oh, you're using an overpowered sorceries. Well, you know what? Like I said before, guys, I know some of you will say that. So you guys notice I'm not using the Crown of Dusk. And actually I'm not using it for the purposes of the video, because I don't wear it for the build anyway. I wanted my female to look basically like a soldier, 100% soldier, thus the steel helm. Also, you will not see any spamming of sorceries, right? Now, you will see me cast, right? But will you see me doing one of these things where you kind of run up to somebody and you just kind of, pop off like 3 and 4 times? No, you won't see that, right? I'm not trying to one-shot people. That's not the purpose of my build. I'm a crystal magic build with the emphasis on buffs, but I have the ability to use the regular soul spear, not the crystal soul, right? Because I only have 40 in intelligence and 1 iteration of dark bead. Now, an alternative is for me to use a crystal magic weapon or hidden weapon in addition to either the soul spear, uh, or the dark bead. One of the two. That's it. I have 14 attunement so that I can have 3 castings, and that's about it. So let me go ahead and tighten this guy up for 900 damage, and if you guys just notice, that's 900 damage, I mean, with no Crown of Dusk, which goes to demonstrate how overpowered the Dark Bead is. And it's definitely overpowered. Alright, so this guy is an R1 spammer. If you guys would notice, a lot of times when I notice someone is an R1 spammer, I will go from two-handing a weapon to immediately one-handing a weapon. Right, that's one thing that I do pretty often. You guys, if you kind of pay attention to my channel, kind of pay close attention to detail on the vids, you guys will notice that. Especially when I'm using like a spear or a halberd. In most cases, when I'm using the spear, I will two-hand it. And a lot of cases, when I'm using a halberd or a greatsword, I will two-hand it. But as soon as I notice that, you know, my opponent is either a R1 spammer, or he does a lot of those rolling R1s, or he does a lot of combination attacks, you know, kind of like R1, R1, or R1 followed up with an immediate R2. Usually I go straight to one hand so that I can have my shield ready for the parrying. Alright, so we have a lone host. It looks like he's a pyro build, and I guess he's trying to come in my way, but I'm kind of backing off, dude. And actually you just got yourself BS'd. For, was that 1200 damage? Looks like it was like 1200 damage. Okay, so this guy is dangerous. Looks like he's going to use the high speed Wrath of the Gods / Hornet Ring backstab technique. One that we are familiar with. Alright, so let me kind of keep a distance. This guy has a Hornet Ring and he might try to hit me with the Wrath of God combination. So let me go ahead and tighten this guy up with the Crystal Magic Lioness build. Now I know some of you guys may say, dude, why do you call it Lioness? Come on, dude, I'm using a Leo ring. Females are not lions, males are, right? So if it were a male, I would call it Crystal Magic Lion or Leo build. But since it's a female, I'm calling it a Lioness build. Alright, so we have another R1 spammer with the ridiculous gold tracer. And I knew that was coming. And actually that thing swings so fast. I think I'm a little better with pairing those on the second hit with medium shields. Because for some reason those special shields, I mean your reflexes really have to be A1 for you to be successful with that. Okay, come on dude, you can't go toe to toe with a lion. Come on dude, you can't go toe to toe with a lion. You and your little gold tracer. Dude, I have a halberd, get off it. Alright, what do we have here? Gankers. Why am I not surprised? And he's bowing. Okay, dude. You know what? I don't really trust that. So I'm not going to do anything back. And for a lot of you honor dudes that may say, oh my god, he didn't bow. Listen, dude. Like I said in a recent Berg video that I just uploaded. Some of these guys get you to bow just so they can trick you. Right, and I am in a ganker situation. You know, there's obviously 2 of these guys, so I am not going to run the risk of perhaps, you know, me trying to bow back and some guy with a ridiculous fog ring is kind of creeping up behind me for a BS, or I bow back and this guy run in for a Hornet Ring BS. I'm not running the risk. Now, if you leave me a note after the win, either he die or I die, I'll definitely give you a reply and say GG and thanks for the support. But get off it, dude. Not in the forest. It's just not happening. Alright, so I really have to be careful because my vitality is basically less than half at this point. Okay, well, it looks like he may defeat me. Or maybe not. Alright, so let's see what his homie is going to do. And actually, he was a higher level. You guys see that? 158. And I'm level 130 at this point. So, I'm not really sure what that amounts to with regard to soul levels. But 158 is it's a lot. Because think about it. When you're fighting against a level 120 or 125, you get somewhere between 100. I mean, actually, you get somewhere between 45,000 and 49,000 souls. So imagine that. I just got 100,000+. So he must be kind of up there. Alright, so do some Dark B for 511 with another parry, because I guess he didn't learn his lesson from the first R1 spamming punish. Alright, so what do we have? Okay, so one of two things. Either this guy, well, actually it's not either one of two things. I guess this guy is just kind of chilling out. Didn't kill any NPCs yet. Okay, so we're good to go. And we have another halberd user. Okay, I don't know what kind of move that was supposed to be. High speed jump attack. Right. Alright, now if you guys notice, I am medium rolling. Right? We don't need to fast roll. We don't need Darkwood Grain Ring. Now, with my ninja build, my ninja is a fast mobility build, so I will be using either the fast roll or the Darkwood Grain Ring. That's what that particular build was designed for. And actually, I noticed that he was an R1 spammer, so I'm trying to get him to pair R1 spam again. But actually, I kind of missed that second opportunity. I'm pretty disappointed. But I'm going to try it again. And actually, if he's a good R1 spammer, he'll keep trying. Well, like I just said, he'll keep trying with the spam, but you can't keep trying that forever without being penalized. Alright, so he heals, I heal. And let's see if he's going to go back to R1 spamming. Come on, dude, R1 spam. Oh, you just want to give me your back. Okay, fair enough. Come on, R1 spam. R1 spam. You guys notice that quick reflex? That's what you need for those katanas. Okay, so I guess he's finally caught on to it. Can't R1 spam. 100% correct. Sure can't do it, but you want a turtle. So take that 79 damage for the win. Right? Take that 79 damage for the win. Alright, what do we have here? Look like we have... Oh, full... Is that full giants with the happles? Okay, and he's using the dragon weapon. I'm in trouble. Okay, dude. Let me go ahead and tighten you up. And let me go ahead and tighten you up with the unlock BS. Right? Because alcohol is not good for you. Right? It may make you feel good, but it's not good for you in the long run. So you can go ahead and take that BS. And I missed that parry, unfortunately. And actually, that guy's pretty smart. Because usually, they'll keep spamming the R1. Right? Even after they see the attempt. Okay, and you can take that quick soul spear to the face. Alright. What do we have here? Okay. Looks like he's fighting a bro. Another boy in blue. Okay, dude. You guys notice how many people are running around with these dark magics? It's a whole bunch of dark magic builds out there. Right? And that was another reason why I said, you know what, and actually, see, the downside to this guy who's using his dark magics is he's going to take a penalty by using that Crown of Dusk. Me, on the other hand, I mean, the dark magics will hurt, but I do not get that additional penalty that comes with using the Crown of Dusk. Right, because I think there's an additional 20% penalty with the Crown of Dusk. I'm not sure, but I know it's some kind of figure like that. Alright, so let's see what this guy is going to do. You guys notice those souls? 533,000. I am running into some high levels out here because, you know what, guys? I'm only level 130, so imagine that. 533,000 souls. That's crazy. So I know I get a lot of comments from guys, you know, and most of the time, they're kind of newer guys. Guys are kind of new to PvP, and they may notice 99 humanity in my humanity window, or they may see how many souls that I have, and they'll say, dude, I mean, what are you doing? You hacking? You cheating? You know, I thought the dragon head didn't work anymore. How are you getting so many souls? All you have to do is get a lot of experience at invading, guys. You will get tons of souls. And actually, he couldn't outlast my Velka's rapier. You guys notice that? 520,000 souls. So we're good to go. So basically, that was like more than 1 million souls by successfully killing 2 guys. Alright, so what do we have? More gankers. But it's not a problem, right? We're not afraid of gankers, even when I'm by myself, right? Because one thing that I've noticed with a lot of guys, oh, actually, I'm not by myself. Okay, so we're good to go. One thing that I have noticed in a lot of cases, there'll be some forest hunters that when they find themselves by themselves, either they will just go ahead and return to their world, or they'll put on their little handy-dandy fog rings and run. But see, you know, the way I see it, that's no way to get better at dealing with 2v1s. You know, my suggestion for dealing with 2v1s is to first get comfortable with losing. I cannot stress that enough, guys. I mean, granted, I'm doing, you guys notice that damage? Leo ring. Can't mess with that lioness when I'm purring. When I'm purring for the win. So yeah, like I was saying, I cannot stress that enough, guys. You know, I know a lot of people, they have their egos. They want to win all the time. You know, they want to feel like hot shots. You know, but nobody that is successful at a lot of 2v1s got that way by always winning. Nobody. I don't care how much of a hot shot you think you are, or how much of a hot shot you may think that a person may be. We have all lost plenty of times in the grand scheme of things when it comes to doing 2v1 and whenever you're in the kiln, 3v1 situations. Right? So the first thing to get good at handling 2v1s is to get comfortable with losing. Right? So what if you lose? Don't rage. Don't quit. Just say, okay, well, it's a loss, but, you know, the more I stick at it, the more practice I'll get. After you kind of get comfortable with losing, you know, from that point onward, you might want to learn how to isolate your targets. You know, get proficient on lock BSs, get proficient in pairing. Because pairing, lock BSs, and knowing when to attack and counterattack will definitely help you out in a lot of 2v1 situations. Right? Knowing when to engage, knowing when to disengage. Because there's a lot of times when you have to roll at the right time. Right? And even if you are locked on to one target and, you know, you want to keep yourself focused, you always have to keep in mind that there's another person out there. So sometimes when you're dealing with 2v1s, you may have to dodge whenever you hear, you know, the footsteps of another phantom coming right behind you. Right? Because you always have 2 bloodthirsty, ridiculous phantoms. And actually, these guys are pretty good as far as defense is concerned. Because every time I go in for a lock BS, I mean, they just kind of back off, which is actually an awesome defense to it. Because if you guys notice, well, actually, that was a wake-up hit for the win. Give him a nice lock BS for the second win, and we're good to go. Alright, what do we have here? Moonlight Shores. With either a great sword, great shield of Artorias, or the cleansing great shield. And he's using the Abyss great sword with the Artorias setup. Come on, dude, if you're going to use an Artorias setup, take the shield off and do it like a boss. Okay, now what is this guy doing? Is he engaging? He's waving. Okay, so he's waving twice. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and return that greeting, but I don't trust him. Right? He's kind of waving for me to come on in his direction. But guess what, guys? I'm not going to run. You're not going to draw me into an ambush. So I'll go ahead and proceed on cautiously. Alright, go ahead and let him take the lead. I can almost guarantee this will be either an ambush attempt or a situation where he comes across as friendly, but then he's going to try to turn against me. I can almost guarantee it. So let's see what this hot shot's going to do. Okay, so we're running toward the host. And he's not attacking the host, nor is the host attacking or preparing to attack him. These guys just might be in cahoots with each other. Or is the host even there? Okay, and actually that was a bold move. But I thought he was doing that because he wanted to engage me. But he's not even preparing to engage. So what is he doing? You know what? I don't like this. I definitely don't like this. Alright, so he just tried to take humanity. Alright, so let me just go ahead and engage the host. I really don't have time for games. You know, because either we're going to fight or we're going to do something. But, you know, I didn't invade this guy just to play these ridiculous games. And looks like he is into playing games. Now, what is he doing? Because if he gets a little too testy. Oh. Okay. I need to go ahead and engage this guy. You're not getting ready to take humanity from me. So you can go ahead and take that 738 damage. Right? Along with a wake up. And actually he must have been a low level. Because if you guys noticed, that was just 1100 HP. Either he was a low level. Okay. 5,000 souls. Poor guy. Right? Poor guy. Alright, so this is a good matchup. The halberd, lioness, versus a spear. But guess what, dude? A spear versus a halberd is not even a question. Did you guys just notice that first hit? 642 damage. Alright, you can't mess with the lioness build, dude. Get off it. So you better use your little ridiculous invincibility framed dark wood grain ring silver knight spear combination. Alright, so I'm putting on the fog ring, and actually I'm going to go ahead and take it off because, you know, number one, I used a grass, so even with the fog ring on, you're still kind of defeating the purpose by having the grass, because you'll still have that green aura around you. Alright, so it looks like we have 2 hornet ringers. Why am I not surprised? Alright, and we kind of sure do. Hornet ring. 2 hornet ringers. That stinks. That definitely stinks. So it looks like I'm going to be in trouble, especially because I'm kind of stuck in the environment in addition to having this guy with his ridiculous wrath of the gods. Whatever, dude. Get off yourselves. Alright, so like I said before, this will be a 3-part video series. Kill or be killed. The first will be this medium rolling with my Crystal Magic Lioness build. The second, parts 2 and 3, in my personal opinion, are the best. Right, because it will feature a lot of fast action and a lot of 1v2 situations, right? And, you know, for a lot of you guys like to say that the build is overpowered because I'm using a Leo ring and I'm using dark magics. You don't have to worry about that because, like I said before, I will be invading as a dark wraith and I'll be using an S-stock. I'll only be using an S-stock and a dark silver tracer. Right, and for any of you guys that are familiar with the game, you would know that the S-stock is definitely not overpowered, right? But it's not about being overpowered, guys, because I have optimized builds and builds that are not necessarily optimized. And parts 2 or 3 will include a build that is not optimized. Because as a matter of fact, I think my total defense with the armor setup that I have is probably about 320. So alright guys, stand by for parts 2 and 3. Martyr's Brigade is